Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome back to Academia Magazine Weekly news review where we kind of revamp the whole thing और जिसके अंदर जो भी बातें हुई होती हैं न्यूज़ के सर्कल के अंदर we go through that. इस वीक की जो मेजर न्यूज़ है वो पाक यूएस रिलेशनशिप के हवाले से है। शुरू से हम देखते हैं मगर इफ़ आई वर टू गिव अ ब्रीफ बैकग्राउंड, मतलब जब से पाकिस्तान बना है पाकिस्तान का बड़ा ऑफ एंड ऑन रिलेशनशिप रहा है। शुरू के अंदर वी वेंट टू सीटो एंड सेंटो अगेंस्ट द सोवियट्स, और फिर हमने पूरा अफगान वार लड़ी, फिर हमने वार ऑन टेरर लड़ी। तो ये कहा जाता है कि पाकिस्तान मेनली अमेरिकन कैंप में रहा है। लेकिन पिछले 10 सालों से हम देख रहे थे कि इस खत्े के अंदर स्पेशली साउथ एशिया के अंदर इंडिया वाज अ फेवरेट कंट्री ऑफ द यूएस। उसके अंदर हमने देखा हाउडी मोदी और वो सारा कुछ, द बोथ regimes in the Washington and Delhi were like as strong. The ties between them were as strong as they can be. और लेकिन फिर हुआ 7 मई, जिसके अंदर ऑपरेशन सिंदूर के अंदर इंडिया एंडेड अप लूजिंग इट्स जैट्स एंड एंडेड अप गेटिंग ह्यूमिलिएटेड बाय द पाकिस्तान एयरफोर्स। उसके बाद से हम देख रहे हैं एक टिल्ट आया है वाशिंगटन के अंदर, के जिसके अंदर वो पाकिस्तान को एज अ की प्लेयर के तौर पर देख रहे हैं एंड दे आर लाइक गिविंग अ पुश बैक टू इंडियन एजेंडा और वट एवर। उसके अंदर हम देख रहे हैं कि टैरिफ की बात की है उन्होंने, 25% इंडिया के ऊपर लगाया है, 19% पाकिस्तान का है। और वो ट्रेड डील्स की बात कर रहे हैं with regards to oil and minerals. So I think we'll start with the education thing first. So do enlighten us के how are our ties in the field of education, कितने बच्चे हैं जो वहाँ पढ़ रहे हैं, और एजुकेशन फील्ड के अंदर अंदर किस तरह की कोऑपरेशन दोनों ममालिक के दरमियान रही है अभी तक।
Relations have always been the center stage, and for that reason, everyone has an interest in that. Given the background of Pak-US relations after independence, the United States immediately recognized Pakistan, and later on they were one of the first countries to help us financially. And over the period of 8 decades, around $78 billion in form of aid and assistance and financial assistance. So uh, currently we have around 11,000 Pakistani students who are enrolled in American universities. And according to credible estimates, there are some 12,000 Pakistani doctors, medical doctors who are, serving in US healthcare apparatus. So, in terms of education, I think the Higher Education Commission had announced an education corridor, a knowledge corridor, US Pakistan knowledge corridor. Pakistani students and the probability of getting jobs and in Pakistan after returning, and these people are highly regarded within the Pakistani community. So, as far as our educational and cultural ties are concerned, uh, after war on terror, they went down and touched the lowest depths, just like other relations. So, post 2021 Doha Agreement, uh, over the horizon counterterrorism operations in Afghanistan were something that Pakistan and US was working on. So later on, these relations converged, and but it remained within the prism of security. But currently, as you said in your opening statement, that what really happened on 7th May. But if you go a little back in after 22 April terrorist attack in what they call it, what the Indians call, uh, I think it was in Pahalgam. Yes, the
Yeah,
Pahalgam attack,
पहलगाम।
the 22 April attack in Pahalgam, which Pakistan condemned and offered its assistance for joint, like, uh, investigation so that it could be resolved. Uh, the US was not, like, just observing what really was happening. They thought that it would escalate within the, like, on the line of control, and then everything will be fine. But they were not really bothered. But when the Indians attacked Pakistan, and Pakistan started to defend itself under Article 51 of the United Nations Charter, uh, things started to, like, get serious over the hill in Washington, D.C. And on 10th of May, when Pakistan gave a very strong response and downed their jets, uh, and thereafter there was a news in CNN that according to some reliable intelligence, Pakistan was about to launch a very major attack on India. So that credible intelligence led to American intervention, and everything, like, changed. But there is a, saying that fortune favors the brave. So, so eventually the fortune was in our favor, and this is what really happened briefly. And I think right now, whatever is going to happen within the perspective of US-Pakistan relations, be it in educational or cultural or any other aspect, it will be in the background of what really happened on 10th of May 2025.
All right. So, how are you seeing the development thus far? How do you think इंडिया को अब वो यूज करना चाह रहे हैं चाइना के अगेंस्ट बिकॉज somewhat Pakistan has used the Chinese weapons and Chinese defense system against the Indian uh, artillery. So, are they kind of like trying to uh, push back push back India, putting up tariffs and all that to prepare India against China?
I think that US-China relations are also going to, like, have a very different angle. And we cannot just say that India, Pakistan, like, this region is not the hotbed of US-China rivalry. Actually, it is in the Pacific Ocean and the Strait of Taiwan and elsewhere. Uh, the India has been highlighting and trying to, like, bring US into a regional like, into a regional conflict so that it can, so that US can buy their version of conflict between China and US. They want US to become India, and like, but obviously India may be the principal arbitrator of US, that too in the past, but right now things have changed, and the United States has started to see Pakistan and India with equal footing. So I think this will not be a correct assessment of the American view of our region. They don't want to, like, fight India's rivalry with China. And I don't think they have any interest in blocking Pakistan either. And neither China nor US has ever put any pressure, which has all, like, come into the public domain. Maybe there has something happened in the background, but obviously we have to talk about whatever has happened in the public domain. But in the public domain, Pakistan is enjoying relationship with, even with the rivals of United States. But its relationship with the US is distinct from China. Like, they have their own relationship with China, and Pakistan has its distinct relationship with US. So I think that should be the point where we should look at US-China relations. And we have played a historic role in that as well. Like, Henry Kissinger.
All right. So then, how do you see this deal of minerals and oil? ट्रम्प सीम्स टू बी वेरी पैशनेट। मुझे नहीं पता देर इससे पहले भी आई थिंक 2019 के अंदर ये बात होना शुरू हुई थी कि हमारे पास ऑयल के रिजर्व्स हैं, हमारे पास वी हैव लाइक रेयर अर्थ mineral in Balochistan and KPK. So how do you see it's the whole thing panning out in the future? Do you think do we have reserves? Are there some actual studies being done कि हमारे पास रिजर्व्स हैं और उसकी एरिया के अंदर हैं और उनकी फिजिबिलिटी क्या है, और हाउ मच और हाउ मच आर यू स्केप्टिकल अबाउट द फॉरेन इंटरवेंशन ऑफ अमेरिका अगर हमारे पास हैं भी रिजर्व्स ऑयल और मिनरल्स के?
These oil reserves, obviously, we have to again go back to authentic research which is available on the subject. EIA and USGS has done several surveys, onshore and offshore, and currently they think that we have 9.8 billion barrels of oil, shale oil, present in the offshore lower Indus Basin, and similarly around, you know, 100 million TCF, over 100 million TCF of shale gas. So I think ExxonMobil did their project with OGDCL and a private firm in Pakistan, but in Imran Khan's tenure, but they were not successful. So what they'll do now, we don't know. There is no information. There is only this statement which has come that Pakistan and US will, collaborate on discovery of further oil reserves. But currently, we don't know how this will happen. We don't have a mechanism. So it will be too early to say anything about it. Everyone is talking about Kekra 1 project, but uh, we did not get any thing out of it when ExxonMobil started to dig out. And when they even went 5,500 meters and they couldn't get to any oil or gas reserves. So we have to wait and see. And once the details are out, then we will get to know that how this collaboration will go. But my opinion is that even if the US is going to collaborate, they are going to come in a conglomerate with the Saudis and maybe the Turks because they have already been involved in offshore discovery, you know. And the Saudi Arabia had announced that they will establish a refinery in Balochistan. Aramco will establish a refinery in Malaysia. So that project is also in the pipeline. So I think that something of that sort, this is my own assessment, like I'm predicting it. I'm not saying that on authority of any official statement, but these are uh, these are the news which we have seen coming out of state spokespeople in Saudi Arabia, in Turkey, and now that President Trump has said that we are going to collaborate with Pakistan on oil and gas discovery. So, but what we really have is that we have some 9.8 billion barrels of oil reserves currently, and let's see that how things uh, turn on the table when we know more details.
All right, sir. One last question. Do you think anytime soon this world ruled by the US, especially, of course, let me rephrase the question. Do you think the kind of game that Trump is playing, do you see the repeat telecast of May happening again anytime soon? Or do you think we have entered a relatively long era of peace, especially for the next 2, 3 years, for this deal to pan out? And the real goal of all these deals, of all these development, is just to make sure that both of these nuclear armed states don't go too far with each other anytime soon, especially as long as Trump is in the power for the next 4 years.
Actually, I think this is a very important, statement which you give uh, regarding the tenure of President Trump. I think we only have 2 years to see what we can get from Trump administration. And then obviously, there is a democratic change in the United States, and we don't know how the next administration will deal with us. But as far as current setup is concerned, it is in favor of Pakistan, and Pakistan should capitalize on the American goodwill which they have offered, and in every sector. Like we think that we need their support in trade, and they have brokered the ceasefire with the Hindustan. We have to acknowledge. Otherwise, there would have been a lot of destruction. So this is the view of government of Pakistan. So if government of Pakistan is convinced that our relations with the United States are going to improve, especially in this tenure, then we should capitalize on it at maximum speed. So with Trump, we have uh, a relationship in crypto. Then we are going to get this collaboration in the oil and gas field. And third, he has given a 19% tariff rebate, which is 5% lesser than Hindustan. So these three things are in our favor. And Pakistan needs to do more in order to get benefit from the American goodwill which we are seeing, and we should capitalize. I would not be skeptical because I think Pakistan's relationship with the United States is beyond that. As you mentioned in your opening statement, that we have had, we have fought a joint war since for the last 40 years. So our security cooperation, which is very important, which is very essential, is something that is the deciding factor. And I think the Americans have realized, uh, especially in this administration, that their relationship with Pakistan is of utmost importance in order to keep the regional balance, you know, and in order to have its constituency within Pakistan. So they will help us, but for their own benefit, which is understandable in the constellation of nation state. And I think I would be hopeful, not skeptical. But as far as the war is concerned with Hindustan, we didn't know that 7th May was coming. We didn't know that we will respond on 10th of May. So I believe that the war is something which cannot be predicted, and is if we see the tendency of Hindustan leadership for a war with Pakistan due to our response and their defeat, so there are a lot of chances that this may happen. And the security analysts in Pakistan who know how wars happen, and they understand the art of war. So they are predicting, and the Pakistani military is warning the world that next war is going to be destructive, and it will be mutually assured destruction because the war will be nuclear. Right now, currently, they only fought a conventional war. No one should uh, invite a war upon themselves. Either it is Pakistan or Hindustan. We should sit down together and resolve our differences. After all, even if after the destruction, someone has to sit down, or we will not live to see another day. So I think the threat of war is there, and it will come out of the blue. It can be a false flag operation, and then Hindustan will take the plea, and they can fight a war. They have their war chest ready for themselves, and they can obviously just to gain sympathy of the international community, they can do anything. But currently, as far as military to military interaction is concerned, I think both the militaries have understood that it is not the way. It will not happen that they will come and strike alleged sites and then Pakistan will stay silent. They have now understood that if India will attack, they will get a bloody nose. So I think the threat of war is there. They will attack and we will not know when they will do it. Uh, Even in 1965, it started in early 1965 and then it continued until the end of year. So it's ceasefire. They are saying that it is a ceasefire. Recently, there was this debate in the Hindustan Parliament, and they were taking jabs at Pakistan, and they are it's something which inflates the idea of war. So they and the people of Hindustan also have this element of hatred that has been injected by the Hindutva and RSS ideology, and it is going to be there. And Mr. Modi is very good at keeping the spell. He knows how to play with the string, play with the emotions of the Hindustani people, and he will continue to do so. So, as far as they don't come after us and whatever they are doing domestically, it is none of our concern. But if they want to live, in peace, they have to resolve issues. But if they want war, then so be it. I think we will fight.
All right. So on that issue, I guess on that note, especially कि आई होप कि पीस रहे दोनों मुल्कों के दरमियान और कश्मीर का मसला ये हल कर सकें कि टेबल पर बैठकर और कश्मीरी अवाम को उनका हक देकर जो प्रोमिस्ड है एज पर द यूएन
Mm.
रेजोल्यूशंस जो इंडिया ने खुद मंजूर की हुई हैं तो आई होप द पीस persists and better sense must prevail between both the countries and
Yes,
yeah
indeed.
be- uh, because the war between two nuclear armed nations is a recipe for disaster for everyone. There will be
Yes.
no winner. So with that, and
Yeah.
thank you for your time, and see you in the next week, inshallah. Taala. Assalamu alaikum.
Allah Hafiz.